What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is February the 19th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points for today, you have building permits. Forecast right now is 1.47 million. Housing starts 1.35. Last time this was reported, did come in a lot higher than anticipated, which was very good. The market saw that as optimistic. But then again, when it comes down to this time around, I feel like it is more of a win-win scenario. So if it comes in better, then that's good. If it comes in a little bit worse than anticipated, then the market might take that as a potential positive, only because that might mean that rate cuts might be coming sooner than the anticipated Q3. Very inverse kind of mentality, but ultimately I think that's going to be a good thing for the broader market. So like a win-win scenario. Secondly, FOMC minutes. Last couple of occurrences hasn't really been all that negative. It just more reconfirmed exactly what the market was feeling and has already priced into the market. This time around, Powell spoke a couple of times since the actual Fed decision rate. So I think we already know their mentality, and we already do know that they don't plan on cutting rates anytime soon, up until most likely, like I said, Q3. So I think a lot of the data points, it's going to be like nothing all that much, and if anything, just reconfirm and kind of hope and push the momentum a little bit higher. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Futures are somewhat mixed. Dow is down 0.15, S&P is flat, NASDAQ it is up 0.06. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on all of that. Getting right to it, Sofi is up slightly, 0.18. Their technicals are pointing to have higher highs very, very soon. So Sofi is definitely a absolute beast. No news today so far, but then again, they do like to put out news at roughly, I think it's 9 a.m. historically. So usually my pre-market videos very seldom does ever have news, but they did put out a couple 144s yesterday. I talked about this in my dedicated Sofi video. It's just two officers did sell, and both were for tax purposes, so nothing really crazy. Shorts right now, 11.73% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 126.3 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts have been starting to get a little bit more active, so again, that might be something to keep in mind. So as far as support and resistance points though, with it at 1687, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R1 and the pivot. So 1593 is going to be a strong support, same as yesterday, but it obviously wasn't even touched. 1777 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Similarly, that wasn't touched, but it is at least like edging closer to that. So it does want to break higher. So once it does get above this 1777, then you are pretty much seeing new 52-week high for Sofi, because the next strong resistance would be 1891, and then following that 2075. So bigger and better things might be coming for Sofi. Same for SMCI. So this one, luckily enough to anyone that did buy the fear, even though essentially their earnings was somewhat of a gamble, it turns out it paid off. And not only that, it did get above the psychological $50 range, so that is going to continue to really propel it higher, most likely up until roughly like 60 to 70. So or I guess it's pretty much already at 60 pre-market. But yeah, honestly, I think the FOMO is very real, and it is getting to its kind of a fair-ish value. So again, just kind of look back at historical data for broader support and resistance points, so I'll go over that in a second. But right now, 19.05% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 95.41 million shares. Shorts definitely did double the hell down leading into the earnings, so you can kind of see this huge spike right there. But because the earnings not being as horrific as everyone thought, shorts are returning. So this isn't a squeeze play, don't get me wrong. So it's very heavily shorted, but I don't see this stock as a squeeze play. But short should naturally on a slow scale, similar to what happened yesterday, just keep on returning. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And with it right now at 59 and change, it is above this 57. So that's going to be pretty much a key support that you really want to watch for it to hold today, 57.83. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Moving on to Intel, absolutely amazing day, up 16%, pulling back, or sorry, I should clarify, 16% yesterday. Pre-market, it is pulling back, but then again, I think any stock running up that amount, you're going to have certain levels of profit taking. And same goes for when a stock is selling off. Shorts will take profits as well. So this is kind of anticipated, but the fact that you are seeing a lot of volume shows that it's on a lot of people's radar still, and that potentially could move higher. In case you do not know, this is kind of what is floating around for the most part. So you have, looks like Silver Lake Nears for that stake in Intel's Altera, if I'm saying that right. And also aside from that, you also had TSM and Broadcom potentially both wanting to acquire different aspects of Intel. So looks like it's being siphoned off for parts for the most part. That's kind of interesting way to see it, but it's potentially beneficial for investors because the share price right now, the forward PE, is 56.34. In comparison to others, very, very discounted. So you could see a nice run. But aside from that, though, with it at roughly 2.52% of the free float being shorted, it's an interesting stock. Very, for the market cap, it is rather heavily shorted. Again, not a squeeze play or anything, but 109.14 million shares are overall being shorted. And you can kind of see shorts are somewhat reactive. So shorts are starting to kind of move higher a little bit recently. Again, nothing crazy or anything like that. With it at 26.59, it is trading between this right here. So this R3 and this R2. 26.36 will be a strong support, followed by 24.95. I'm stating that only because I personally have been watching and trading Intel for a while now, and I know when things like the negative momentum starts to build, people take profits very fast. So you do see these quick bursts in either direction. So this is why I'm saying 24.95 as well, just in case it could potentially be touched. Flip side, 28.63 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, which similarly, I actually do feel it could touch that. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Moving on from here, ticker's SINT. So it is up 99.29% because of this news right here. So you already do know my kind of mentality on biotechs. It's not my forte, so I'm not going to read this and pretend like I know what it's all about, but this is ultimately the news why it is kind of moving higher. So just read it, do your own due diligence at the end of the day, but a lot of big money is definitely getting in. It's not heavily shorted, so 2.45% of the free floats being shorted, works it to be 32.8 thousand shares overall are being shorted. So definitely that won't be really anything to worry about today for shorts. With it at 5.33, it is exactly on this pivot. So definitely watch for it to close above that, or flip side for it to kind of pull down. If so, watch for 4.31 and then 3.93 right over here. So once again, let me know your viewpoint on that. I know I kind of skip over biotechs relatively fast, but again, like I said, they're not really my forte. And then looking at this one, so Grab, there's a couple of different attributing factors why this is getting very popular. I think a lot of influencers are starting to bring this up. A lot of big names have also started to buy in, and that's through 13Fs. They also do have their earnings coming up on the 21st before the market does open. 1 cent is the earnings per share estimate, and then 756,000 or million is that revenue estimate. So in my opinion, I don't really see this being a justified hype stock, but what do I know, right? Even Ray Dalio or whatever his name is, a lot of people are boasting, saying that, hey, he bought in a significant amount, that means something. But I feel like those same individuals aren't looking back at previous data and shows that he did already buy in 2 other times and sold. So And not only that, he doesn't actually even hold for a long period. It's roughly around like a month and a half at max. So potentially he might have already sold. Again, something to kind of consider, but I'm not here to burst anyone's bubble. So let me know your viewpoint on this. As far as right now, 4.8% of the free float's being shorted. Works out to be 125 million shares overall are being shorted. And when it comes to shorts, though, they have been definitely doubling down. Not a squeeze play on a side note, but they have been definitely doubling down, as you can kind of see. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And then with it at $5.36, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. 445 is going to be a strong support. And then aside from that, $5.52 will be that next strong target / resistance, followed by 619. So let me know your viewpoint on Grab. Are you buying it? Are you selling it? What are you generally doing overall? And for those of you that are playing options, let me know as well what strike price and where you generally see things going. Options activity has definitely picked up quite a lot because I think maybe people are anticipating a explosive post earnings run, and one way to really make some good money from that is through options. So let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, if you're looking for good buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.